everybody, it's Brooke. I hope you're having a great day. Well, I bet you can guess from what's on my desk. I thought it would be a good time to make a paper bag journal. Haven't done that in a long time. And I realized that it is now the 7th of April, and I do not have a creative daily journal. I finished up my last one at the end of March, and I'm this far not current. So I thought it would be fun. I went ahead and grabbed a brown paper grocery bag and fed it into my big cutter because it's really loud and crinkly, so I thought that would be nice if I didn't make you listen to it. So I'm just pulling its little flap down, and I'm going to get that in there about as far as I can. Try to get it relatively straight. I did iron my grocery bag. I don't iron clothes, but I'll iron a grocery bag. By gum. So let's just set this aside. Oops, sorry, I just hit the computer and it made it mad. I'm zoomed out pretty far because this grocery bag is pretty big. Didn't used to. I'm as good at ironing grocery bags as I am at ironing clothes. So I'm going to smush it out like this. It's kind of got a lumpy bumpy in it somewhere. I've already made the signature for my journal. I'm taking a page from Elizabeth, Never Hopeless by Elizabeth's book, and I'm going to do just 1 month, 1 month in one journal, just for fun. So what I'm going to do is figure out about how wide I want it. I'm also going to make it a trifold. So let's see how wide we want to make it to hold our signature. Right about there, looks pretty good. And that'll wrap over so I still get some of the logo. I may or may not cover it. I like the look of the grocery bag, but it's also really fun to collage on or whatever. So I can leave that decision for a later date. So that'll wrap like that. You can see my very careful measuring. Let's go ahead and get this crease folded. Somewhere back in the dark ages of my channel, I made a series of videos about making a paper bag journal. So if you are interested in more detail, I would recommend, I think it was called Let's Make a Grocery Bag Journal or Paper Bag Journal or something, but I'm fairly certain there's a playlist. Alright, so that is pretty much our basis. And I think what I might do is try to chop off some at the top. I'm not sure if my cutter will go through that, but we can give it a shot. Poor old cutter, it's been around a long time. And I don't even know, can you get the blade sharpened? Or is it just when it's that dull, it's done? That would be sad. Whack. That's pretty good. If it's a mess, then we'll just use our scissors. And at the bottom definitely needs to be straightened up a little bit, so we can do that. Also kind of a mess. Yeah, didn't want to go through all those layers. So, a lot of that's going to get cut off anyway, so it's okay. Alright, so pretty much we have the basis. Oh no, that's going to make me crazy. That's a little much even for me. So let's just even that up just a little bit. Probably made it more crooked, right? So that is the bare bones of our journal cover. Loving it already. I haven't had one of these in a long time. So now I think what we'll do is we'll fold up the bottom. Pretty sure this is how I did it last time. I can't swear to it, but see how deep we want it for the journal. Use that fancy measuring technique again. Yep, I think right about there is good. Fold this up. Try to get it even. Get out the old bone folder. Get our signatures out of the way. And finish folding that. Oh, it does get tough. There is some kind of weird wrinkle over there. I think we can force it out in the final gluing. It'll be okay. Not sure why it's doing that. So that will be our pocket. Let's just measure one more time, just to be on the safe side. Perfect, that's exactly what I wanted. All right, and I think I would like to have a pocket on the, just on the front cover. So what I will do is, turn it this way, it's hitting everything on my desk. I'm just going to cut right here up to the fold of our bottom piece. Okay, so it'll be like that. So I want the inside pocket, or the front pocket, to be shorter than the tall pocket. Does that make sense? I think it does. And I'm just going to turn over a little bit to reinforce that edge. And it tore, but that's where we're going to cut it anyway. Right? Yep, so let's go ahead and cut right here. This is our fold for our spine. I'm going to cut our pocket. It probably would have been easier to do that first, huh? Again, just up to the fold. Oh, that ripped. Good thing this is for me, huh? Just up to the fold. There we go. Yep, just like that. And then I believe we can just lop these other parts off to get a real good clear line there where we're going to cut. I don't want any other pockets, so this can all come off. You could make pockets on all the panels if you wanted to, just the same way, or you could take these scraps that we're cutting off and make pockets with those. Ooh, I believe I went very crooked, but that's okay. We can address that in a minute. Get those out of our way. Oh, yeah, I had some sort of episode over there. Don't know what happened. Okay, before we do our pockets, actually, you know what we're going to do? We are going to go ahead and just trim this edge off, because I want to make that into a side pocket. This is our flap to wrap around, but I want it to be a side pocket. Probably should, oh my goodness, probably should have used the trimmer, because, yeah, that's not so straight. Alright, so that will be like that. Now I'm going to take this, open it up, and here is where, let's see, oh, I got myself all confused. Hold, please. Yes, this is where our signature is going to be sewn in, so I'm going to use the famous handy dandy masking tape. Sorry for the noise. You could use Tyvek tape if you have that. A used express or priority mail envelope is made out of Tyvek. Masking tape, pretty much anything you wanted. I'm not even virtually certain that it needs to be taped, but I figured it is just a brown paper bag, so a little extra insurance won't be bad. Get down there, you. I don't think I used to do that, but it seems prudent. Peel this up a little bit. I'm not going to wrap it around in case I decide that I don't want to cover the journal. We'll just cut it right there. Cool. And then this is where our trifold's going to fold, so we might as well go ahead and tape that piece too. Again, sorry for the noise. I meant to pull some off before I started, but I forgot. Shockaroo, right? So this will just give the paper a little reinforcement, and I think it'll work out nicely. Masking tape, very handy stuff. Doesn't really add much bulk, but it's there. Alrighty then. That won't be flapping around to be seen. Okay. Oh. Tape won't come off my finger. Alright. So, oh, look, we are going to see it right there. Darn it. So, I think what I will do is take a pretty digital, I have a scrap right here because I was messing around, and let's just cover it. How about that? I think will I fold it? No, but I think I'll use this edge because it looks a little straighter. And I also just noticed there's a tear there, So that will also help reinforce that. Perfect. We don't need all of that, but there we go. Wow, I thought I was organized and prepared, but that was untrue. I think we can tear that. Doesn't matter if there's a little excess. Tear it right about there. Get out our glue book and a glue stick. There's not a direction on this, is there? Well, yeah, I think it's that way, but that's okay. I want the roses to show. Yes, I do. I think that is a Roxy Creation digital. It's just beautiful. Again, with the too much pressure on the glue stick. When will I learn? I honestly do think that Oohoo has gotten a little mushier than it used to be. Because it's not like I all of a sudden, you know, became super strong. Yeah, all right, so we'll just do a little bit of a patch right there and all will be right with the world. See if I can get that lined up. Are you lined up? Hope my big head's not in the way. Get that pushed up a little bit. There we go. Where's my smoosher? So that'll be good. Cover up that little bit of masking tape and it will also cover up that tear that I didn't notice. Perfect. We're in business. Crisis averted. Okay. Look at that. And it looks pretty fun. Make sure it's not showing on the other side. Nope. We're good. Okay, so back to our little pockets. This is going to be the inside. So, just want to fold the back pocket a little bit. We were so rudely interrupted. So that's going to be the back pocket. And this will be the front pocket, so I'm going to make it shorter. And I just like to have these in the journal to put little bits in, things I'm saving to put in, things that I've collected along the way. This needs a little bit of a trim. Just find it kind of handy. But I'm also going to leave this front section a big pocket to hold my date stickers that I use in the journal. And I think I'm going to ink the edges so they're a little more apparent. Just a little bit. Oh, the fuzzball from my sweatshirt. Yikes. April 6th and or 7th, and I'm still dressed in 3 layers and my heaviest sweatshirt on top because the wind is whipping out there. Okay, I'm going to need to trim that back a little bit more so it doesn't get into our fold. And then trim this a little bit because that's where we had the kind of shoddy cut on the chopper. Okay. So now grab the Fabri-Tac. We've got it all reinforced. And I'll just, oh, I better put down a glue sheet, huh? I better. I won't regret it if I don't. Did you see what I did to my new mat? Look, alcohol ink. I was so upset. So upset. I think I already complained about that in a different video. Sorry. What a whiner. So I'll just put a little bit of Fabri-Tac down there. Hold our flap over. Don't need much because there's really no place for it to go. And a little bit right on here. Get that folded down. All right, you stay. There we go. Perfect. Run some glue from the fold up to the top. Fold that first pocket up. Now the masking tape is showing a little bit right there, but it doesn't matter because that bottom pocket's going to cover it up. Okay, and a little bit of glue on this side. this up so it doesn't go everywhere. Ooh, it's getting all gross at the tip. I hate when that happens. You stay down. You. Cover up the glue stick as well. The paper bag is very absorbent, so sometimes it takes a little bit to grab the Fabri-Tac, and I do tend to use a little more than I generally would because it, well, you know, you use a paper bag for like draining fried foods and stuff. Okay, so there's that. Then, what are we going to do? Well, the first thing I think I'm going to do is glue right along here so that we have a top loading pocket here. Okay, so let's do that. Just right where the signature is going to go in pretty much. I can see that fold. Do a good bead of Fabri-Tac right down there. Oop, didn't need it up there. Let's grab something to wipe that off. Silly. And again, not with no paper underneath. Give that a nice press down. I also see another place where the grocery bag was torn. I didn't pick a very good one, did I? And this is how I got alcohol ink on my mat, was making this tape. So we might as well use it. Right? It's not coming off my backing paper. Okay, I'll do that later because that's going to be annoying. I'll just put some glue stick on a piece. Okay, so there's that. I don't want any pocket at all on the back, so I'm going to go ahead and glue that. I may decide to stitch around this. I haven't really decided yet, so I don't have to put a world of glue on the back here. I'm just taking it right to the fold where this is our piece that's going to flap over. So I'm just going right up to that fold. Going down to the bottom. And I want the fold to be a side pocket. So I'm going to go ahead and glue right along it there. And glue right along here. Another place to put stuff. Oop. Wow, I cut that bag very crookedly. How can I do that even on a paper trimmer? That is crazy talk. Looking for my brayer. Get this good and squashed down. Then I'll probably need to do a little trimming. What do you think? Maybe so. Okay. Yes, this is going to involve trimming, but it's a paper bag. It's easy to trim. Okay, so there's that. That's mashed down pretty well. Now, the question is, do I want to try to do it with the trimmer or the scissors? So that's where our signatures are. Signatures are going to get sewn in, also known as the spine. And we still have that weird bump. Not really understanding why that is. It's kind of why it got out of whack, I think. And I love that it says Hannaford right there. That is our local grocery store. Okay, so I think I'm going to try to do this with scissors. Ill-advised? Yes, indeed. Yes, indeedy. But there you go. I am a rebel. And this may determine that I'm going to sew it around the perimeter to make sure those edges are adhered, because I'm trimming off parts of the glued pieces. But I will wait several hours before I do that to make sure that the Fabri-Tac is good and dry. My sewing machine is not a fan of sewing through wet glue. And there's that. Like that. Alright, so that is sitting a little flatter. That is quite a mess. Let's get out that giant trimmer and see what we can do. I put it away. I was optimistic, thinking we were done. So we are going to lose a little bit of the depth, but that's okay. We had plenty to wrap around. And even though I put lots of stuff in my journal, it's only 1 month, so it's not like I'm going to have a crazy amount to put in there. Do I want to go all the way across? I don't think I do. I was going to take a whole bunch off, but I don't think I'm going to. Decisions, you see. Decision made. So I'm just going to go here where it's crooked and try to even that up. And that'll be good. I might, after I put in the signature, I might glue lace over the spine. Anything could happen. These are really fun to decorate. Okay. So we've got a big old pocket up here. We've got these 2 little pockets here, and we're going to have a side pocket here. Let's go ahead and make a thumb notch. Am I going to measure it? No. If you've been here before, you know that's not going to happen. All right. There's that. Boy, that is still crooked, isn't it? Good gravy. I did it on the trimmer. It takes a special kind of crafter. Okay. Probably because every single line is crooked. Just taking off a fraction to straighten that up. That looks a lot better. And it was only this much, throwing it off. Sheesh. Okay, and the last thing that I want to do right now is put in an eyelet for the closure. So what I will do is, oh, it looks so cute. Let's put our signature in there and just check it out. Oh, I love it so much. I love it so much. So it's, I've got 8 pages, just folded in half, and that will give me 32 pages for the month. That's a couple extra for April, but then I have places where I could just do a collage or do a painting, do a prompt. So that'll be nice. All right, so there's that. I've got my eyelets, got my crocodile. All right, that's part of the problem right there, is that weird fold. Wonder if that was from folding it when it was wet. Will I ever learn? No. Oh, I should have done this before I glued, huh? Darn. Can I do that? I don't think I can get it in there. And if I put the grommet right, or the eyelet right through, obviously it will close up our pocket. Well, that was highly silly. I guess we're not going to have a pocket on that side. What I would have done is put an eyelet right here and run sari, silk, or ribbon or whatever through it. And, well, I'm going to do it anyway, so got to have a closure. Guess we should go ahead and glue this closed now. Now that I did that. Grr. Talking and crafting at the same time. Tricky business. All right, there's that. And I think what I will do is wait until I'm getting ready to sew to let this Fabri-Tac dry also, so I'm not trying to put an eyelet through wet Fabri-Tac. So I am going to go away, wait for it to dry, and I'll come back and we'll do those 2 things. Thanks, you guys. Be right back. And we're back. I waited for the glue to dry, and then I went ahead and sewed all around the edges of the journal, added some lace on the flap, fixed our little tear with some faux vintage tape, and I don't know if you can see, but I was just stitching along happily, la la la, totally forgot about our pocket at the top and stitched across, so I just went and pulled those stitches out through here. It did leave little holes, but it's fine. I kind of like how it looks. And then I inked the edges, and look at that. Our cover is just about done. So now that all the glue is dry and we're sewn, we can go ahead and put our eyelet in. Oops, I'm hoping this lace doesn't interfere with it, but I guess we'll find out. So let me get out the crocodile and kind of eyeball this for some centerness. I don't know. Let's see, it's 9 inches, give or take. I don't know why I'm measuring, I never do that. And let's see, so looks like right about there will be the center. I'm going to go ahead and punch a hole in there. Get in the right position so I can see where our hole is. Going in a little bit from the edge so we don't have to worry about anything tearing through. Oop, a little messy, but it went through. Let's see if we can pop that eyelet in there. That would be good. Just taking off the lace that didn't quite punch. Okay, so we'll scoot our slider on our our crocodile over. And I have my eyelets. I think I'll go with the dark one so it'll show. I used this fun variegated pink and red thread that I had. Feeling kind of springy. I know it'll come eventually. I know spring will come. I know spring will come. If I say it like that, maybe that'll help. So I'm putting that in there. And squeezing down slowly in even pressure. Giving it a good mash. And there we go. It's all squashed in there and that's not going to go anywhere. So let's move this out of the way, and I'm going to put the top on my eyelets because I don't want to spill them everywhere. Probably should get some more. Okay, so there's that. Now the other thing I did while I was waiting for that glue to dry was I took some seam binding. I had this pretty pale pink and wet it with my mister. Just got it good and wet, and then scrunched it all up, put it in a plastic bag with a rubber band around it to kind of hold it while it dried. And look at that. It's all crinkly and beautiful. So really all I did was crinkled it up like this in my hand, sprayed it with water, and just put it in this Ziploc down in the corner and twisted it up and held it with this rubber band, and boom. A couple hours later, we have this. Guess I cut it a little long, huh? Okay, so we just need to feed it right through. Where's my pokey tool? And the lace is going to make the ribbon sit a little funny, but that's okay. We won't even notice. And since it's a trifold, I'm only putting in this one piece of ribbon. Oh, no, actually, look at that. It looks great. Perfect. And then one will wrap around this way. Guess we could take some of that off, huh? One will wrap around this way. And tie right here in front. And the beauty of this journal is that with the cover like this piece will just slide as this side gets fatter. So this journal can get really fat and it'll be just fine. But I don't think it'll get fat enough to need quite this much seam binding. So let's just give it a little tie and a little judge about how much we want to take off. That's not very even, but I get the idea. Maybe right here and right here, and I think I'll tie some knots. And these pieces will go straight into my slow stitching bucket because that'll be great. Let's just get a little knot on either end so it doesn't fray. It'll just fray up to the knot, but no further than that. Oh, I like it with the red and that crazy thread that I used. Perfect. Just what I wanted. This is a great way when you need a journal fast. When you realize that, you know, the month is a quarter of the way over and you don't have one yet. All right, so there are little knots, so that's good. All that we have left to do is to bind in our pages. So open this up, and I was thinking about, I had my circle punch out, I was thinking about doing a thumb notch, but this is enough to show me that we've got a pocket there, so I don't think I'll bother to do that. And I found this laying on my desk, so I just tucked it in that pocket to remind me to use it this month. Alright, so let's get to binding. So just like any old 3-hole pamphlet stitch, you're going to go ahead and take your signature, poke your hole in the center, poke your hole down here. I've already done this because I put my loop for the lobster claw at the bottom instead of the top. So these holes are already in here. Just make sure everything's still lined up. And go ahead and put a 4th hole, maybe a 1/2 inch above the top hole. So there's our 4th hole. Okay, let's try this the right side up. I've got my needle already threaded with this really pretty variegated embroidery floss that I found. It is kind of like the sewing thread that I used around the edges of my journal, and I liked how that looked. And I'm not sure if I'm repeating myself because I'm not sure where I'm going to have to cut it out where I did that little loop down here. But at any rate, I saw Never Hopeless by Elizabeth do this, and then I thought it was genius. Couldn't remember exactly how it went, so I messaged her, and she sent me the link to where she saw it with Natasha at Treasure Books. So I went, instead of starting in the center like you normally would with a pamphlet stitch, I started at the top hole, or the 3rd hole, went in from the inside and out from the inside. Now I'm coming back up, and that's our 4th hole. And what this will do is make our loop for the lobster claw to go in. So I'm going to go back in that hole, being careful not to split the stitches, as always. Pulling it nice and firmly so that thread is quite secure. Going back through. Okay, and then I can't remember if she tied it off now or not, so I'm not going to. Let's get this out of my way. And then you just go down to your center, like so. Okay, and then up through. I knew I should have done that last. There you go, live and learn. Put your ribbon on last. Go down to our bottom hole. So now I am going to have an extra hole at the bottom of my journal, but I can live with that. And hopefully our fluffy tassel at some point will just cover it up. I'll never even know it was there. So that goes there. I put this envelope in the center of the signature. It's just junk mail with a fun window in case I wanted to close it up and have it be an envelope again, or a pocket or something in the middle. Who knows what will be happening on the day this falls. Okay, so I'm trying to get that through. There we go. Pulling that firmly, not ripping the paper, but firmly. And then back up through our 3rd hole. Not splitting any threads, always important. Okay, pulling it firmly. Make sure that everything is... Oh, that's not pulled very well at all, is it? I should have waxed this. Okay, we'll take our clips off. Check to make sure our signature isn't wobbly. Nope, looks good. No one likes a wobbly signature. We'll just tie this up. Double knot, square knot, whatever you like. Another one for good measure. And a 3rd to grow on, or something like that. Here we go. Trim that off, put my needle back in its little piece of felt so it doesn't get lost. Put that over there. And look at that. We're in business. Take my bone folder. Oh, that is fun with the embroidery floss. Just had a good fold. And now we have all of our pages in, and we have this extra loop right here to put a lobster claw in and hang a dangle down the spine. Because this is so thin and there's not really, a spine, it's just a fold. An eyelet really wouldn't work for a tassel because it would be all bumpy and weird. So doing it this way is just genius. So thank you, Natasha and Elizabeth. I will, of course, link both folks down below. And just kind of tidy up those holes a little bit. Not concerned about that last one at all. All right, then. So there's our first page. This is just some fun vintage paper that's got a little bit of a texture to it. It almost feels like construction paper. And then some pretty dyed papers that were sent to me in a Happy Mail. Mostly these were all things that were on my desk anyway. They were just sitting there, and when I realized the date, I just grabbed them and off I went. Beautiful piece of old ledger. That's the end papers from another 1800s ledger. Look at all the grunge, isn't it beautiful? This is some vintage scrapbook paper, from a scrapbook, not like, you know what I mean. There's our junk mail envelope that will be fun. I even left the flap on it, so I could put it back into envelope form if I wanted to, or use the pages individually and just tear off the flap. Just left my options open. And then there's the other half of the signature. I've got my 32 pages for the month. This is just a little piece of digital that was laying on my desk as well. And so I sewed it onto the edge of the ledger, and it's a pocket. And with this, depending on what day I need it, I could flip it and put it over on this side as well, depending on how busy my days are. And I got to save the page numbers, which is always good. And then just back to the other half of all the pieces of paper. And there is my creative daily journal for the month of April. About time, huh? Better get cracking. So if you guys want to make a really quick paper bag journal, grab a grocery bag and whatever's laying on your desk and go for it. It's really easy and pretty fun. Those are still really long. Oh well. So there we go. We're all set. I want to thank you for your time. I hope you learned something or got some amusement out of this. And if you enjoyed it, I would love for you to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button if you don't mind, and I'll see you again really soon. Bye.